Ivan Katz here at Upper Macungie Park in Macungie, Pennsylvania, and I'm going to play around. I'm going to talk about what I throw and why I throw it, and tell you how to play the sport of disc golf, including what the flight numbers mean, and also other tips and tutorials along the way. Have you smashed that like button yet? Have you subscribed? Please do. Also subscribe to my Ivan Katz Productions on YouTube. A lot of disc golf content there. Let's get started. Number one, 277 feet it says, but that's more than 277 feet, I think. Okay, Lucid Witness, and just a backhand with my very flippy but pretty straight flying leopard. A lot of people wouldn't throw that for an approach, but that being said, I throw the discs that work for me, and almost made that one. So tap in with the leopard. I want to show you a lot of different discs and how they fly, so that's why I'm throwing multiple discs. On to the next one. Number two, no idea about the distance on this one, but you don't want to fall off into the trees over here, that's for sure. Okay, well, this one, my Crank SS, pretty happy with that shot. Threw it low and in control. Not nose up, and that's how you get the distance. These discs are designed to fly basically when you release them flat. Hyzer, certainly, and hyzer. Hyzer and hyzer, but basically forward and not up. You throw it up, they'll fade off earlier and they won't do what you're meaning them to do. Of course, if you're throwing uphill, that's an exception. And if you're throwing a dog leg right. Now, what's the key to a dog leg right? Well, the first number on the disc is its speed. And that depends on whether you're throwing a putter, 2, 3, 4 putters, mid-ranges, 5, 6 basically, 7, 8, 9, fairway control drivers, same thing. And then over that, 11, 12, 13, 14, those are your distance drivers, less control. Now, if you're throwing a disc and it's not turning over for you, like this Ace Ray Sol is a beautiful flick disc that turns over for me. You saw it just start to fade a little bit. Fade is the last number. So if you have a fade of 3 or 4, that's good for a dog leg right in the case of a forehand flick, because it's going to fade that way anyway. So if you throw it with hyzer, you can get around objects. Okay, so that last number then is the fade. Second number is glide. That's how much the wind's going to take it. A high number like a 5 or a 6, that means there's a lot of glide. You don't want that in a putter necessarily, because you don't want the wind to take it. Third number is your turn, and that is stability. So if you throw a disc with hyzer and it flips up, hyzer flip, the way you get that done is, well, with power, but that third number being negative, -2 means that it should turn over. -3, -1, a little turnover, -2, a little more turnover, -3. So you can throw with hyzer and get it to turn over. Sometimes a broken in disc will get very flippy, and then maybe too flippy. You'll have to give it a lot of hyzer and it can flip all the way over. I use those discs as my overwater discs, the ones that have basically, perhaps they're DX plastic and they've just become too flippy. I'll throw those over water if there's a water hazard, because I don't really care if I lose a disc like that. Maybe an old beat up Destroyer, Beast, or Wraith. I have reviews of those discs elsewhere on YouTube. And be sure to smash that like button if you haven't already. Thank you very much, and subscribe also to my Ivan Katz Productions channel as well as Drive-In Ivan. But those are the numbers. And of course, understable for the right hand backhand, well, that means this way. They're going to flip over this way. So if you're throwing a disc and it's not flipping up and then fading, you should probably move down a number. You're throwing a 9 disc, move down to a 7 or a 6 or a 5. Play the entire course with a mid-range, and then you'll really be able to get the feel for the discs and control and that sort of thing, and the amount of hyzer and anhyzer And that's how you learn this sport and get these discs to do exactly what they're going to do. On to the next one. Number 3, super tight fairway, 193 feet. But wow, look at that. Cool shot. Okay, great shot with my Ace Race Sol here. Just give it some hyzer, let it turn over, and then fade a little towards the basket. My putters are my Polecat, 2 of those, and 186 putter. Super old and hard to get, so I like it. Soft and something I've been throwing for years, but get yourself something like a Polecat Birdie or AVR, putt with those. Buy 5 of them and putt, 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 putt. Look straight in the center of the basket and just throw it. If you're having trouble, pretend you're throwing to a friend. Sometimes that helps. On to the next one. Number 4 says 265 feet, and I believe it. A lot of trees in the way, though. At least it's downhill, though. That's a good thing. Okay, the Mamba, which is usually an S-curve disc, hyzer, flip, and then a little fade. In this case, I made sure that it wouldn't fade too much that way, so I wanted to give it enough hyzer to keep it away from the trouble area on that side. But hyzer, flip, and then a little S-curve, not too much fade, but got me towards the basket, and that's a good thing for the putt with the Polecat. On to the next one. Number 5, 181 feet, and there is a stream over here, which is kind of a hazard, so you got to be careful. Hot tip: don't look at what you don't want to hit. In other words, if you look this way, you're going to throw that way. Look at the basket, or if you're throwing right-hand backhand, try to look over here so that when your disc fades, it fades there instead of over there. Don't throw too high or it'll fade early and go in there. Look this way. Okay, Ace Race Sol, and then my trusty 86 putter. On to the next one. Windy day, 165 feet, straight ahead. Dauntless Lightning Golf Discs, SBD Dauntless number 1. Hook shot. Love this disc. It has ridges. Check out this company. They're really cool. Lightning Disc Golf Discs. I've been throwing these discs for longer than I'd like to talk about, actually. But this one does everything you want it to do. Great approach disc. Put it on a hyzer line and it just goes right where you tell it to go. And if you flatten it out a bit, you can get a little distance with some good fade at the end. Wonderful disc. Polecat putter. On to the next one. Number 7, 215 feet, straight ahead. Okay, the Discraft Heat. Now, it's a distance driver, but really straight flyer, especially if you throw it nose down, gets a second wind. 215 feet, I'm not sure if that's actually 215 feet, but my max throw is probably 265, 275 these days, and so I might disc up a little bit where other players might use a mid-range. I might use a control fairway driver or a driver. It's just the way I play. Don't worry about what your friends are throwing because they might have a bigger arm than you or a smaller arm than you. Go out in the field, change discs with them, try them out. Maybe you can swap. Maybe you can figure out what you want. Weight is important. Weight has a lot to do as well. If a disc is super overstable, but you kind of like it, but it just can't quite get it to turn over, and it's 175 grams, step down to 169 grams, 165 grams. Some of the air discs, 158, those are really good. You can throw what would be a more stable disc and get it to turn over more. So check out the weights of these discs too. That can help you make these discs do what you want them to do as well. Putt with the polecat. On to the next one. Number 8 is tough, 267 feet and uphill, and a lot of trees in the way too. Remember, you don't want to look at the trees, you want to look at the safe way straight through. The wedge, what a wonderful disc. I love this disc. Okay, so the leopard is extremely flippy. It can just turn over, and sometimes when I'm throwing uphill, I like to throw a very flippy disc. Just put it up and let it turn over and go straight at the target. And that's what I did here. And again, straight at the target with my wedge. I like to say with this wedge, if I miss, it's my fault, not the discs. As you can see, I just went for it. I ran it straight at the basket and well close. Actually went underneath the camera. But still, you should always be happy with a par. Love this wedge. On to the next one. Number 9 says 200 feet and straight uphill. Okay, the king, thrown with sort of a bit of an Anheuser turnover roller. Tried to plant it at the bottom of the hill and have it roll up, but it rolled off. Oh well, saved by the polecat. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this round at Upper Macungie Park in Macungie, Pennsylvania. And also, check out all of my other disc golf videos. If you like cars, just search Drivin' Ivan on YouTube and any car. And also, subscribe to my Ivan Katz Productions YouTube channel. I've got a lot of disc golf content there. And if you like music, check out my literal video for Chris Isaac's Wicked Game. And check out my Hotel California video where I play all the instruments. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And thanks for watching. I'm Ivan Katz.